Good morning, everyone. How are y'all? If you would please silence your cell phones for us, we would appreciate that, guys. We're going to get started today. We just want to start by saying thank you so much for coming to honor these amazing and dedicated students. We're going to go ahead and get started with the ceremony. My name is Frank Jordan. I am the National Technical Honor Society sponsor here at Gordon Cooper. And on behalf of Gordon Cooper's faculty and staff, we want to welcome you to our 2025 NTHS induction ceremony. It is an honor to have you here as we recognize our and your outstanding students. Mr. Cole Conway will now come up, and he's going to start us off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag? Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the invocation.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Bowner, and I'm going to lead us in this morning's prayer. Please bow with me. Lord, as we gather here today to celebrate the induction of these new members into the National Technical Honor Society, we thank you generously for granting us the gifts and talents which enable us to be successful students and honorable individuals. We give thanks for your guiding hand and teachings. We seek to make you proud in our pursuits of skillfulness, leadership, service, and character. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning. I'm Trace Patterson, a National Technical Honor Society member in the pre-engineering program. I would like to welcome you again to the Gordon Cooper National Technical Honor Society induction ceremony. I would like to thank all Gordon Cooper faculty and staff for helping with our ceremony today. The goal of National Technical Honor Society is to see that deserving technical students are recognized and that people of the community become aware of the talents and abilities of young people and adults who choose a technical education pathways to a successful future. The NTHS motto reads, Felicitas Menti Instructe Favor, which translates from Latin as, success favors the prepared mind. The official NTHS slogan is, excellence in America's workforce begins with excellence in workforce education. Again, we thank you for being here to honor and celebrate our achievements as students.
This year, we have a very special speaker. Our speaker today is currently an avid fly fisherman, an author, and a retired man of leisure, as far as I can tell. Before that, he spent 49 years in career and technical education. He began his career as a marketing instructor at Putnam City, and then by way of Great Plains Technology Center, the Department of Career Tech, a couple of times. He ended up finishing his career as a superintendent and CEO of Francis Tuttle Technology Center. However, even in retirement, he remains a champion of Oklahoma Career and Technology Center. In fact, some of you homeschool students who sit in this room, he championed you being a part of Career Tech, so you're here partly because of his efforts. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Tom Friedman.
Thank you, Frank, for that very gracious introduction, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks for inviting me to celebrate in this special occasion. It's truly an honor to be asked to speak to some of our state's brightest and best students, and don't kid yourself, that's what you are. So let me just start by saying congratulations on a great accomplishment. You know, this is not a small deal. Figure it like this. This country is running out of people who have the essential skills to keep our economy running. You are not only in the process of getting those skills, but by being selected to the National Technical Honor Society, you've not only demonstrated that you're good at learning those skills, but that you are also a little bit more disciplined and a little smarter than the rest of your competition. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a proven formula for success. You are the best of what is truly needed in this country. you heard Frank talk about me being Superintendent Francis Tuttle. The last year I was there, we did a study. And at Francis Tuttle, we had 3,000 students, and it was about 50-50. 50% of them were high school juniors and seniors, a few sophomores, and mainly juniors and seniors, and the other half were adult students. And this study revealed that our fastest growing market at Francis Tuttle were adults between the ages of 25 and 35 that had 4-year college degrees but couldn't find work. They were living with mom and dad, or they were living in an apartment and basically kind of a dead-end job. And mom and dad said, hey, you know, you need to go to that Career Tech Center out in Oklahoma City and find a skill and get a real job. Now, that's not to say anything negative about a college degree, because if you have the right major, you are in demand. But some of these majors they have nowadays, like I saw one the other day, introspection appreciation. What are you going to do with that degree? And who's going to hire you for that thing? But every one of you here are in a career tech major where there's somebody wanting what you have learned, and they're willing to pay you because you're going to be a good return on the investment. So congratulations on that. That's just not something to take lightly. I'm sure probably most of you heard about the tragic California wildfires that destroyed much of that state's beautiful forest and much of its wealthiest residential areas, in addition to the great loss of life. And there were many things that contributed to that tragedy, like questionable forest management, empty reservoirs, budget cuts. But the one thing that wasn't mentioned by the media, and was something that the fire chief pointed out during her press conference, and that was that they had several fire trucks that were idle because they couldn't find an auto mechanic to fix them. Now think about that. You know, that's a safety deal. That's something that was, if my house was there and said, sorry, we can't get there because the fire truck hasn't been repaired yet, and you know, it's a shame that we're running out of people who can do that kind of stuff. So just another example of why it's so important what you're doing here, and why it's dangerous if we don't have enough of you guys doing that. And you're learning that right here at the Gordon Cooper Technology Center. And I'm going to talk a lot about outer space and a lot about skills, and I'm going to I'll bring this all in together. But the reason we have the career tech system that we have in Oklahoma, and you have right here in Shawnee, America, is because of the Russians, of all people. And they were really the first to point out to us how inept we were at teaching people essential skills. How many of you have ever heard of Sputnik? You know, the older I get, the fewer, but I'm impressed, quite a few hands have gone up. Well, that was a Russian satellite, a Soviet satellite that went up in 1957. And it was the first satellite in space. And it sent shockwaves throughout the country. America didn't have the technology to accomplish that feat. One congressman famously called it a national day of shame. We were in the middle of the Cold War, and this was the first sign that we might actually be losing that war. And we had to ask ourselves, did the Russians have a better education system than we had? Did they have a better economic system than we had? Was their political system superior to ours? These are all questions that really nobody had any answers to. So as a direct result of that successful launch by the Russians, our country set out to appropriate the necessary resources to fund the space race, and in 1961, President John F. Kennedy made that bold statement that we would successfully put a human being on the moon and bring him back by the end of the decade. Well, we did, and the Russians to this day still haven't been to the moon. But a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. We found out that we had the resources to catch the Russians and eventually pass them in the space race, but it almost didn't happen because of one thing. We discovered that the sophisticated machinery that we developed to take us into space, that when it broke down too many times, that it caused a lot of delays in the launch dates. And it was also a safety issue. Who wants to go in a space machine, and you worry about, is this thing really going to get me there? So it produced enough concern in this country that shortly after that, Congress passed a very important piece of legislation called the National Vocational Education Act, and it basically pumped a ton of money, a lot of money, into the states to develop their own career tech systems, just like the one you have here in Shawnee. This is a result of that act, the National Vocational Education Act in 1963. And the goal of these schools was to supply our country with the technicians and craftsmen it needed. And then I'm going to bring this thing home into the space race. What a perfect name, you know, the people that were in the decision-making capacity at the time to name this school after one of the original astronauts who was born right here in Shawnee, Gordon Cooper. Gordon Cooper was the first human to make two orbital flights during an 8-day endurance mission, but he's probably most famous for manually flying his spacecraft to a successful landing when his onboard computer broke down. There you go again, another breakdown that could have probably been prevented by a technician that was trained right here in Shawnee, America. But thanks to the skill and courage of someone like Gordon Cooper, tragedy was avoided on that particular space flight. Gordon Cooper was truly made of the right stuff. And how many of you have seen the movie, The Right Stuff? Gordon Cooper is one of those guys it talks about. So you guys have a brand here that you can be so proud of. You are Gordon Cooper Tech guys. That's like someone saying he graduated with honors from Harvard, you know, especially this group, because you've made the NTHS cut, you can say you're graduating with honors from Gordon Cooper Tech. Our Oklahoma System of Career Tech Centers was born from the space race with the Russians, and you're keeping that tradition alive at the namesake school named after a famous astronaut. It's more appropriate now than it ever was, as this country has recommitted itself to going back to the moon to establish a space colony, and then eventually onto Mars. Don't you see, you have the perfect brand at the perfect time to market yourself around the world. Even outside of Oklahoma, you go and say, I graduated from Gordon Cooper Tech. If a guy has any smarts at all, I say, oh, wasn't that one of the original astronauts? You know, one of the things I always thought about it would be neat to have is, you know, maybe get your congressman to do this, but lobby somebody at NASA and have maybe a replica of that capsule or something like that, you know, he flew, or maybe you could build it and put it right out there in front of Gordon Cooper, because, you know, a lot of folks may not still remember some of that. So just a thought. When I was about your age, and before we landed a man on the moon, and, you know, the big funny thing was always, so I'm going to make $1 million someday, and say, yeah, you might as well land on the moon. I mean, people just thought that was an unobtainable goal. But before that happened, there was a famous pastor, author, and motivational speaker named Norman Vincent Peale, and he once said that when you're making a personal goal for yourself, you should always shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. Well, National Technical Honor students, today, maybe when you're making your own career goals, you should revise that statement a bit and say, I'm going to shoot for Mars. Even if I miss, I'll wind up with the stars. That even rhymes. You can make that your own personal mission slogan. But it's all right here in front of you to seize. Put it to your advantage. You've got the school with its marvelous equipment and facilities. You've got the faculty with the expertise and genuine desire to help you get there. You have the name, Gordon Cooper, who was a space pioneer and is the perfect brand to launch your career. And most importantly, you've already shown you have the drive by being accepted into the National Technical Honor Society. There's really nothing stopping you. I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to encourage you to enjoy your journey to outer space. And remember, you guys have the right stuff. You've proven it here today, and you're going to get accepted into something that's going to prove it to all of us. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Mr. Friedman for taking the time to be a part of our ceremony and for sharing those inspiring words. My name is River Norton. NTHS members Matthew Carey, Wednesday Yohala, and I will now share the 7 attributes of National Technical Honor Society. In the center of the table is a lighted candle representing knowledge. Knowledge is familiarity, awareness, or understanding gained through experience or study. This candle represents the knowledge you have gained through experience and study in your vocational program. The first skill attribute is skill. Skill is the use of knowledge to develop great ability and the expertise necessary to make a positive difference in a particular occupational field. We light this candle to represent skill. The second member attribute is honesty. Honesty is the quality of being truthful, trustworthy, and fair with everyone while at work or play. We light this candle to represent honesty.
The third member attribute is service. Service is giving assistance and being ready to and able to provide a helpful and useful act. We light this candle to represent service. The fourth member attribute is responsibility. Responsibility involves the ability to act without guidance or superior authority and being answerable to your actions. We light this candle to represent responsibility. The fifth member attribute is scholarship. Scholarship is the distinctive mark of one who has mastered an area of learning, as reflected in the quality of his or her work, especially with respect to scope, thoroughness, and care. We light this candle to represent scholarship.
The sixth member attribute is citizenship. Citizenship is being entitled with full civil rights and exercise the duties, rights, and privileges of this status. We light this candle to represent citizenship. The seventh member attribute is leadership. Leadership is the responsibility of serving as a guiding force, and leadership is the responsibility, directing the way by going first with courage and confidence. We light this candle to represent leadership.
Let's hear it for Diego. That was tough. Thank you. Students, we hope you recognize these 7 attributes in yourselves and the values, these qualities, and the value of these qualities which make you eligible for your membership in National Technical Honor Society. You truly have done an amazing thing. Inductees will now be introduced one at a time and presented with their pins and certificates. I think Cole. Oh, no, Chief.
My name's Julie McCormick. I'm the superintendent at Gordon Cooper Technology Center, and I just want to tell the inductees and all the parents and family members here to support them, thank you for being here. Congratulations for this honor, and I am honored to be able to read your names. As I call your name, you're going to come across. I'll hand you the certificate, and then you'll shake the hand with Ashley Fickner, is our Director of Partner School Outreach, and these are her programs. Elizabeth Jones, this is her Health Careers AM students. Addison Adams. Shaylin Olivia White. Addison McFarland. Tennille Kidd. Briley Harris. Clayton Hale. Miss Megan Malouse, health career students. Valeria Balavaneta. Sarah Armstrong. Chloe Shepard. Abigail Sharpley. Kendall Shawnee. Annalise Price. Camber Ohl. Lily Jordan. Kiera Jones. Kyle Hazelton. And Caitlin Hartman. Next, we'll recognize Health Careers Samantha Knowles students. Hannah Davis. Casey Cantrell. Katie Overstreet. Emma Jones. And Stevie Hogue. Miss Betty Lawrence's digital career student, Josiah Cole. Rick McClure's auto service student, Branson Duvall. Thank you, Mrs. Fickner. If Kelly Wilson, Director of Instruction, could join me. We'll start with pre-engineering students. Josiah Dean. Jesse Dean. Isaiah Cole. Kimber Chesser. Miles Buss. William Bramall. Brylan Allen Webb. Nathan Thompson. Zane Ruffley. Kason Peters. Ian Peltier. Zachary Nowakowski. Thomas McGovern. Sarah Mashek. Henry Hankins. June Gao. Aviation maintenance technicians, James Carr. Jacob Adobo. Nathaniel Wickie. Wyatt McElfresh. And Kyle Jordan. Business and Education, Mrs. Utter's class, Hannah Campbell. Alvia Arnold. Braden Rolls. Cooper McKee. Bria Hood. Mr. Russell Tarpey's a computer networking technician class, Peter Hang. Gaia Murdoch. Haley Cantrell. Gabrielle Johnson. Our Criminal Justice and Emergency Services, Mr. Troy Thompson's students, Matthew Bottoms. Rihanna Youngblood. Ryan Whitnaw. Lacey Stafford. Broderick Shirey. Trinity Kearns. Caleb Higgins. Chicago Allen Heron. If Rand Schaefer, Director of Instruction, would join me. We will start with the early care and education students, Miss Carrie Laxton students, Kalora Kane, Ella Woods, Allie Welch, Honesty Smith, Marley Penn, Anna Hunt, cosmetology students, Miss Pamela Fry's student, Sarah Chafin. It feels thick. Is there two? Yep. Thank you. Haley Bershid. Dakaya Beavers. Tristan Thompson. Oh, didn't get it. Alessandra Hernandez. Mr. Jeremy Fry would join me, Director of Instruction. We will start with Gay Ketchum's graphic design students. Delilah Campbell. Ruth Smith. Bailey Knox. Matthew Gregory. Our next group is Mr. Cliff Kincaid's Auto Service Technology students. Patrick Carney. Ethan Broyles. Cooper Smith. Judah Redman. Owen Mach. Blake Cluding. I extend another congratulations to our inductees.
Students, welcome. You are now official members of the National Technical Honor Society. New members, please stand and join us in reciting the NTHS pledge located on the back of your program. Ready, begin. As a member of the National Technical Honor Society, I pledge to maintain the highest standard of personal conduct. I will apply myself to continue a record of scholastic achievement, and I will strive for excellence in all aspects of my education. I will invest my talents, my skills, and my knowledge in a career of my own choosing, and shall always endeavor to uphold my obligations as a citizen of my community and my country.
I would like to congratulate each of you for your accomplishments thus far, and congratulations on becoming members of NTHS. We wish you luck to continue these accomplishments, and as members of the faculty of Gordon Cooper, we cherish your success. As you go back to your programs, please take with you the values we've mentioned today. And NTHS inductees, if you will hold tight for a moment, I'm going to address you about a few specific things. So thank you so much, parents, fellow students, faculty, and staff for joining us today. We thank you so much for coming. I'd also like to thank everybody that helped me put this on. I know it says my name at the bottom, but Mrs. Brindley, Mrs. Pollock, one of our inductees, Ruth Smith, gets an extra shout out. She fixed the invitation and printed it. We had her working before she even became a member, so thank you so much. And the business class folded our programs, and I didn't even have to ask. The absolute kind of honor or just showing how great our staff members are. They did it, and they came to me and volunteered, so that was great. So thank you, everybody. Congratulations and goodbye. Thanks for joining us. I really am sorry for leaving you off. You did a great job. Thank you. That's nerve-wracking.
Did that last one.
That is so tough.